Hi, I'm Gigi. I'm an ex-Amazon bar raiser and senior leader here at Day One Careers. In today's video, we're going to cover the controversial issue of whether it's a good idea to ask, do you have any concerns about me at your Amazon interview? Now, I have a very clear and logical view of if asking, do you have any concerns about me at your Amazon interview is a good idea. But before we go into that, let's just briefly cover why I call it a controversial topic. Like many of you, I'm sure I am tapped into a lot of content on social media, be it the tickety-tock. I know it's called TikTok. I just think tickety-tock sounds more fun. My kids think I'm weird. LinkedIn, Fishbowl, etc. And there's plenty of content advice out there about this. Now, from what I can tell, the people advising to ask, do you have any concerns about me at the end of interview, tend to be interviewees, people who have asked, do you have any concerns about me questions at the end of their interviews, and who believe being the operative word, they were able to successfully address the interviewer's concerns on the spot. Now, in my somewhat unempirical data sample, the most numerous and loudest of this group of people are people in sales roles. This information will be important in a minute. But in my research, I didn't find many hiring managers or recruiters making this recommendation, and certainly no one who claimed that candidates' responses to their answer frequently helped to mitigate concerns they felt about the candidate. Yet, plenty of these candidates claim it as a causal rather than correlating data point to getting job offers. How they know it's causal, I have absolutely no idea. Now, there's a very particular reason why asking, do you have any concerns about me, isn't a good question at the end of an Amazon interview, and I will come to that in a minute. But more generally, there are good reasons why not to ask this. The first is that I believe it risks ending the interview on a negative note. You risk planting the seed of doubt in your interviewer's mind that they may not even have been thinking about. Or, I guess if they were thinking about it at the back of their mind, you've just ended your interaction with them by pulling it to the front of their mind. Now, the advocates will tell you, oh, but you'll get a chance to convince them otherwise. But the truth is, the interviewer, if they know anything about interviewing, will have literally just spent a whole bunch of time already asking you questions to get information to mitigate their concern. If that hasn't achieved it, then you really are facing a bit of an outside chance now. The second reason is you're putting your interviewer under pressure to say something. Maybe they haven't quite consolidated their thoughts yet. You may be forcing them to come up with some kind of half-baked response, which may not even be accurate, which you're then going to spend, 3 to 5 minutes wittering away to try and address. And then they'll leave the interview wishing they'd never answered the question in the first place. Also, a lot of people aren't good at thinking on their feet when faced with a direct challenge to their competence. I have actually faced this question from candidates before. I don't often agree to answer it, but when I have decided to answer it, very rarely have I been presented with a convincing argument that presents any new evidence. More often than not, candidates get defensive and focus their narrative on what I've failed to understand about them. Now, this is really connected to my hypothesis as to why salespeople, bringing back to the salespeople, are the loudest advocates of this strategy. It is literally their day job to objection handle in an unemotional and rational way. To them, it is a skill developed over years, but I'm afraid for most people, it definitely isn't a skill that they've mastered. But the biggest reason not to ask, do you have any concerns about me at an Amazon interview, is that Amazon interviewers are specifically trained not to form any opinion of you as they interview you. The purpose of an Amazon interview is just to gather data. Then once the interview is over, they're trained to review all of that data and consider it to then form a balanced opinion. This is specifically done to avoid interviewers from forming an opinion in the moment based on emotion and subconscious bias. By asking, "Do you have any concerns about me?" at an Amazon interview, you're literally driving into the process emotional and unconscious bias. So my advice is, please don't do this. Trust your interviewer will have asked you the right questions to gather the data they need to form a balanced opinion later. Now, what you need to do is click the link here to claim your free Day One Careers Customer Obsession Taster course. Watch that and you'll nail every customer obsession question asked of you in your Amazon interview. Or if you want to do that a little bit later, why don't you check out more here of our incredible insights and advice on Amazon interview preparation.